In November 1955, the employees at London's Covent Garden Underground station began experiencing a series of unusual sightings. Foreman collector Jack Hayden was performing his final checks for the evening just after midnight when he noticed a tall, distinguished-looking man heading toward the exit. Thinking the man was a potential fare dodger, Hayden called the booking clerk from the platform phone and asked him to intercept the man at the top of the stairwell. But the booking clerk said no such man ever emerged. On November the 24th, Hayden was sitting in the staff mess room when he saw a tall man wearing a grey suit, funny old collar and white gloves, looking at him from the anteroom. Hayden asked the man if he was looking for the cloakroom, but the man simply vanished. 4 days later, Hayden's tea break was interrupted by a loud scream from station man Victor Locker. Locker claimed a man had pressed down on his head before disappearing into thin air. Unsure of how to handle the apparitions, Hayden called headquarters at Leicester Square for help. Foreman Eric Davey was dispatched to Covent Garden Station to solve the mystery. Davey, who happened to be a spiritualist, decided to hold a séance in the anteroom to make contact with the spectre. He told a Sunday Dispatch reporter that he'd gotten the name T.E.R. something and a murder nearby. He also jotted down a quick psychic sketch of the spirit, which someone noticed resembled that of Victorian actor William Terriss. Not only did photographs of Terriss match Davy's sketch, but when they were shown to Hayden and Locker, both men cried out, "That's him." If the men were to climb the stairs to the station exit and walk 4 minutes through Covent Garden, they would find themselves at the stage door of the Adelphi Theatre on Maiden Lane, where in 1897 William Terriss was stabbed to death. Terriss was born William Charles James Lewin on February 20th, 1843 in St John's Wood, London. His father, a barrister named George Herbert Lewin, died when William was just 10, leaving the rudderless young boy in the hands of single mother Mary and a string of boys' schools. William was largely disinterested in his studies, preferring outdoor adventures to classroom learning. Eventually, he absconded from school, running away to join the Merchant Navy as a teen. Within 2 weeks, William had decided life at sea was not for him after all, and slipped ashore in Plymouth to try his hand at his next venture. After a failed stint as a tea planter in Bengal, William had equally brief forays into careers at a hospital alongside his doctor brother and as an apprentice engineer. But the only thing William truly enjoyed was attention. When he was 20, he was given 3 lines in the St Mary's Hospital Dramatic Society's production of Bombastes Furioso. He loved his brief taste of theatrical life and decided to pursue a career as an actor. His first professional appearance was in the production of The Flying Scud at Birmingham's Prince of Wales Theatre in 1868. Following his debut, he returned to London under the stage name of William Terriss. After his West End premiere as Lord Cloudrays in a revival of the Comedy Drama Society, Terriss had no trouble finding more work. He was tall and handsome, with an undeniable stage presence that lent itself perfectly to lead roles like Robin Hood, Ivanhoe, and Romeo. In 1870, Terriss married Isabel Lewis and took a hiatus from acting to stretch his restless legs in South America and the Falkland Islands, where he tried his hand at sheep farming before returning to London with his new wife and infant daughter, Ellaline. The following decade included his rise to stardom on the London stage, punctuated by a brief foray into horse breeding in Kentucky and the birth of 2 sons, William and Tom. Now with 3 young children to support, William settled into his stage career, joining Henry Irving's company at the Lyceum Theatre in 1880 to star in a series of Shakespearean productions. William quickly became a favourite among the West End crowd for his performances and friendly demeanour. In addition to being a compelling leading man, he was something of a local hero, having rescued people from drowning enough times to earn a medal from the London Humane Society. On one occasion, he turned up to rehearsal dripping wet, but did not explain his soaked state. It was only upon repeated pressing from his colleagues that William admitted he'd plunged into the Thames to rescue a drowning child while on his way to work. In 1885, Terriss met 24-year-old actress Jessie Millward, with whom he starred in an extraordinary 513 show run of The Harbour Lights. The couple reportedly became involved in a romantic relationship off-stage and toured the US with Irving's company on 2 separate occasions. In 1894, Terriss rejoined the company at the Adelphi Theatre, where he enjoyed profound fame as Britain's most beloved actor. During his tenure at the Adelphi, William became acquainted with a struggling young actor named Richard Archer Prince. Prince was an erratic man who many other actors and directors refused to work with due to his heavy drinking and violent unpredictability. But Terriss, ever a do-gooder who wanted to help, took the man under his wing, doing what he could to secure Prince roles in productions the more experienced actor was involved in and slipping him money when no work could be found. It was the kind of mentorship any young actor would dream of, yet it would prove fateful. In 1897, Terriss was starring as Captain Thorne in the play Secret Service at the Adelphi Theatre with Jessie Millward. The show toured in the autumn and reopened at the Adelphi in November to eager crowds. By mid-December, Terriss was playing to a packed crowd every night. On December the 16th, William and his friend Henry Graves shared a taxi to the corner of Maiden Lane and walked to the theatre stage door together. As William paused to pull his key from his pocket, a man darted out of the shadows of a neighbouring shop's doorway. Harvey watched in shock as the man stabbed William twice in the back, then again in the chest when William turned to face him. Adelphi staff hurried Terriss inside and attempted to stop the bleeding, but the 50-year-old actor died on the sofa in his dressing room before doctors could arrive. When police turned up, Harvey quickly pointed out the killer, who seemed in no particular hurry to flee the scene. It was Richard Archer Prince, who had become consumed with jealousy over Terriss's success and was convinced that his mentor was sabotaging his fledgling career. At trial, Prince was found guilty of the murder, but also criminally insane. With this, he was sent to the Broadmoor Criminal Lunatic Asylum, where he remained until he died in 1937. William Terriss was mourned by tens of thousands at his burial in Brompton Cemetery. Even Queen Victoria sent a letter of regret to William's family that read, in part, "I deeply feel the loss which has robbed the English stage of one of its brightest ornaments. While it seemed that all of Britain was mourning the death of one of its most popular stars, many believe that William Terriss still wanders Covent Garden." Emmeline Terriss's husband, actor Seymour Hicks, said that as he knelt by the dying man's head, he heard a voice say, "Are there men living such fools as to think there is no hereafter?" Not long after William's death, actors at the Adelphi began hearing strange tapping noises coming from his dressing room, and unexplained footsteps were heard backstage. In 1928, actress June Tripp experienced what she believed to be Terriss's ghost in her dressing room at the theatre. The same night, theatregoers also spoke of a green light manifesting on stage. Famous psychic researcher Harry Price convinced Tripp to join him in a séance, but they could not coax the spirit into further communication. Sightings of a tall, well-dressed man in old-fashioned clothing near the Adelphi Theatre and in the Covent Garden station have continued intermittently. Jack Haydn's final sighting at the Underground station was in 1964, when Terriss's ghost passed him on the stairs, seemingly in a hurry to make his way to the street above. In 1967, the actor's granddaughters travelled to London to experience the haunting for themselves and spent an unsettling night full of paranormal activity at the Adelphi. While it's easy to explain why his spirit might linger at the place of his murder, why would it frequent an underground station that wasn't built until 10 years after his death? Some accounts claim that Terriss had a daily routine of stopping at a bakery that used to stand where the tube station is now. But there is no records to prove that the late actor ever had such a habit. Perhaps Terriss, like so many other Londoners, is just trying to find his way home after a night out in the West End. Thank you for watching. Right then, take care, and I'll see you next time with another story to make you say, well, I never.